All right. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to today's session. And today we will be presenting the topic 5 deadliest attacks on ethical hacker is capable of. Okay. To all those who aspire to become a certified ethical hacker, I'd like to introduce today's presenter, Mr. Shama Prasad Das, who is a certified EC Council instructor. He has trained over 200 plus professionals and worked on various offensive and defensive security projects over domains including pen testing, defensive security, forensic investigation, Linux and Windows security, software-defined data center security, secure storage cluster policy, and different network security postures in data center. Before we proceed, let's all set up some guidelines for an easy flow of the session. 1. Before the webinar begins, everyone will be muted to prevent the noise disturbance to the presenter. For asking questions, you can please send a message over the chat or raise a hand. You have an option. 2. Questions will be taken by the presenter during the session via chat. You can also email your questions to support@greycampus.com. I repeat, it's support@greycampus.com. We'll be very happy to take your questions and give you more information. We will also have a dedicated question and answer session at the end of the webinar. Okay. Also, stay tuned for details on payment plan for CEH training and certification at the end of the webinar. Okay. Now we'll go ahead with the session today. Over to you, Mr. Shama Prasad Das.
Yeah, thank you. So good morning, guys. So this is Syama here, and I'm gonna share my screen right now first. I hope everyone can see my screen. I'm going to present today particular types of attacks which is running nowadays a lot. And yeah, what ethical hackers do by those attacks and how they do penetration testing to find out not only the vulnerabilities but also to find out multiple types of exploits and how to do a penetration testing successfully and how to generate a report and how to submit it. So these are the things done by the ethical hackers. I will be discussing more about this penetration testing, and I will show you some of the deadliest attack which can be done by ethical hacker. Right? So let's start with the topics what I'm going to cover here. I will be starting with what is the difference between vulnerability analysis and penetration testing. So before moving to vulnerability analysis and penetration testing, I will emphasize on what exactly security, what exactly information security, and what is cyber security. I'm going to discuss about that. Then I'll move to what exactly the things happens when an ethical hacker do a penetration testing and when these things come into picture. So that I'm going to discuss there. Then I'll be showing you multiple type of sniffing passwords using Wireshark. So I want to show you how to sniff a particular network, right? And how you can get the user ID and password from the network. There are multiple ways out there. I'm going to show you 2 different ways. One will be from the local machine from where we can sniff it by the local network interface card. And the other one I'm going to show you is how we can sniff a remote device or remote computer system. And then I'll move with performing a man-in-the-middle attack using one of the well-known tool that is coinable. That is what I'm going to show you there. And then we'll move with some of the DOS and DDoS attacks. So there are 2 DOS attacks I'm going to show you today. One will be sync flooding attack, which happens over TCP/IP protocol, basically the flag, the TCP flag, which is gonna enable there, and it is going to send continuous packets over the network to capture the bandwidth so that the machine's network bandwidth gonna use fully by the attacking machine, or by the attacker, or by the ethical hacker's machine through which he's doing the attack. Okay, so that is one of the DOS attack I'm going to show you. And the other one will be HTTP flooding using DOS HTTP. So this is one of the tool which help us to do a particular kind of flooding over port number 80, that is the HTTP service port, right? So that is going to, I'll show you about that port, and then we'll move with performing distributed DOS using one of the tool called HOIC. So I will tell you how exactly a well-crafted, sophisticated DOS attack happens over multiple bot machines, or you can say zombie machines, right? So multiple machines with multiple thread, they actually do the attack. And it will be not only called as DOS, it will be called as distributed DOS attack or denial of service attack. So these are the few attacks we are going to see, and I will be taking a small break in between before showing the DOS attack, so that I need to perform my environment from AC Council iLab, where I'm going to show you all these things. So let me quickly start with what exactly cybersecurity is, and what exactly the information security is, and what is security. So people are really confused with these all things, and when they want to start working on this area, or want to they make it as a profession, they are really confused with this, what exactly, from where we need to start. So let me tell you here what is security. Now security is a simple term where we protect something. It may be a physical security, or it may be a security over network, or it may be a security over a particular host machine, or you can say simply your laptops and your mobile devices, right? So it can be anything which we are protecting, right? Even your home also. Now the locking systems and all those things. And now that will be a simple term. It is called security. And when it comes to information security, now information security means protecting the data, right? Protecting the information which is used to run a particular business, right? It's business critical informations, right? Which normally runs from data centers, where data will be in process, that is using the server resources. Data will be in motion from server to client, that will be network resources, and data will be in rest, that is the storage resources. Now these three things will be part of data center, and yeah, now it has been moved to cloud right now, right? So you'll see the things are working from cloud environment itself. Now whenever as an ethical hacker we are into penetration testing, or we are doing penetration testing, so there what happens, we get different environments. So it may be a normal data center, or it may be a cloud environment, right? So whenever we do penetration testing, we need to understand that, okay, so the information security has been given over, maybe it's a cloud environment, or maybe a normal data center environment. So that's where we provide information security. So it is protecting the internal network, right? Or it is protecting the host machines, right? So these all things comes under to protect a particular set of data, which is in a data center, or it may be in the cloud data center. The next term what now I want to discuss, that is the cyber security. Now cyber security is something which is moving over internet. Now the things which is moving over internet usually between the consumer and the provider. For example, cloud is providing some application, maybe Office 365. It's a Microsoft product. So people are using it, and people are accessing it over internet. Now, when they're accessing over internet, and it needs to be protected, because the data what they wants to keep in the Word document, or maybe Excel document, or it may be any other MS Office features, so it has to store in a secure channel. Otherwise, someone can attack in the middle and they can get the data. So that may be a man in the middle attack, right? So now this is the difference between security, information security, and cyber security. Mostly when we do ethical hacking, we do two types of ethical hacking. One will be internal penetration testing, or one will be external penetration testing. We call it like a black box and white box penetration testing. So black box, we don't have any information. We have to move from their external zones to the internal zones. If it is white box, normally we do the penetration testing over the their environment itself. We have information about their infrastructure. So we know bit information about their infrastructure. We know where it is running, how it is running, and we just need to know the more sophisticated attacks. So we just help them to patch it, so that the next kind of vulnerability should not be there, or it has been patched. Like in 2018, there is one of the vulnerability came out from Intel. So Intel AMT vulnerability, and there is another one is running for same microprocessor chips that is related to this one, meltdown and spectra. So this is one of the malware. So there are lots of vulnerabilities, lots of malwares, lots of breaches happens every time. So we should know as an ethical hacker what can possibly attack the environment, and what we need to do. So what kind of report we need to submit so that the company will be protected, or there will be a protection. So why I'm talking about protection more, because we are not hackers, we are ethical hackers, right? So ethical hackers always try to protect the environment, the cyber environment, or maybe the information systems, right? So what exactly we do two things. We do risk assessment. Now risk assessment is of two types. Now one will be your vulnerability assessment, and the other one will be your penetration testing. Now when I talk about vulnerability assessment, now see, whether you do vulnerability assessment or you do penetration testing, the thumb rule is you need to follow 5 steps of hacking. So 5 steps of hacking. Now as ethical hacker, we also do the same thing. So we also follow the stephood of hacker. So hacker do 5 steps, we also do 5 steps. But when it comes to vulnerability assessment, company usually stop us in step 2 itself. So we do information gathering, we do scanning, and sometimes we do enumeration, but they take the report in this 3 phases report and they stop it. Okay, so you don't need to do more tasks, so you just stop it here. So we do not want to exploit our data. So just let us know what are the vulnerabilities are there and which are having higher severity level, so that we will the critical levels, or maybe high level, or maybe there are multiple levels of vulnerabilities are there. So they just want those vulnerability needs to be patched, so that the main attack should not be, the highly severe attack should not happen, right? So that's what they do there. So this is part of vulnerability assessment. Normally we do information gathering there. Now information gathering, simple, collect network information, host information, organizational information. That's it. Scanning, identify the systems which are live or which is up, which is running, and find out so which port is open on each system. There are virtual ports are there, the services are running. So each service run on top of a particular port when we call about network services. So they need a virtual port to communicate between other machines, or to provide a service to the outside or the remote accesses. So that's where we need to find out what are the ports needs to be, what are the ports are open or what are the ports are closed. So that is what needs to be, we need to do vulnerability assessment on top of that. So in scanning phase. Then in the same phase, we also identify the services, which is the version of the service basically. So why the version of the service? Because there are multiple version of services are running. Maybe there is a vulnerability in the older version of the particular application which has been patched in the newer version. So we just wanted to check whether whenever a company who is running a particular application, for example, you can take a web server. Now web server IIS there, there are other web servers like Apache, or maybe Linux, or maybe Google also has its product. Other products are also there in the market, but we just wanted to know whether they're using the latest past version of the particular application or not. If it is not, so again we need to find out that particular vulnerabilities. We need to find out, okay, so that version things are there, we need to find out its vulnerabilities, and we need to let the company know, okay, so these are the things you have to patch it up. So next thing, what is something called enumeration, which we call it internal penetration testing or internal vulnerability assessment. Now there, what we do, we do a assessment from the internal network itself. So we are inside the organization, and we are connected to their switches. We are connected we get the information just to do the penetration testing over the particular data center resources. Maybe it's a application level, or it may be in network level, or it may be OS and hardware level. So that will be internal, and we find out normally the users groups and the share resources or the share folders, or maybe any other network level services. So normally we do penetration, vulnerability assessment over those resources. But when it is called as a penetration testing, how it is different from vulnerability assessment, it's one step ahead. It's one step ahead. First, you found the vulnerabilities by using these 3 steps. The next step is to exploit that vulnerability by using a payload. Now, this payload are the fancy tools. You will find the tools from, they call it from dark web or deep web. So there are lots of other things, other sites are running. So where people usually get the tools, hackers usually get the tools. It's illegal to do, but normally they do it to steal information, to exploit it. But there are some ethical ways are also there. There are companies who runs like Rapid7, so they have Metasploit. Now Metasploit is one of the tool which normally have all the payloads, knobs, or maybe there will be something which is related to the auxiliaries or the exploits, right? So these are the malicious code. In simple term, these are the malicious codes which find out the, according to a particular vulnerability, one code is going to be execute in the computer's machine or maybe over the network resources, and it is going to exploit it, and it is going to give maybe a remote access, or maybe it is running certain kind of softwares to provide information or to steal the information, or maybe it's kind of like a virus, or maybe a worm which is moving across the network, right? So to stop the things. So that is where it is called exploitation, successful exploitations. Now when exploitation happens, normal process stops. Now normal process of a company should not stop, right? So their business critical should not stop. So that's where most of the company, they stop their assessments after getting the vulnerabilities. They don't want to move with the penetration testing. But some companies, they do a challenge, they give challenge, like you will find Apple or Samsung. So they give open challenges, right? So come to our environment and do a penetration testing and let us know whether how much you can exploit our environment, right? So there in penetration testing, they not only do information gathering, not only do the scanning, but also they actually what they do, they exploit the environment to gain access to it, and they maintain those access, and they show all steps reports, and even they do covering the track so that they cannot be been cut by the particular company's environment or the company's security resources like IDS or IPS resources. So this is a brief difference between vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. Now let me move to few of the attack what I'm going to show you today. So the first one will be the sniffing attack, which I'm going to show you over as obviously I'm going to use iLab from AC Council, which has been providing when we'll be in the training program from CH certification program. So there you are gonna get this particular iLab access. So where you can do such kind of attacks. Even I'll show you, even I'll explain you how this attack can be possible and what are the prerequisites required to do these attacks, or what are the post things you need to be done, because you are ethical hacker, you need to know everything. It's not like you are not a normal hacker so that you did the things and you made the mess and you left out. Normal do not work out in organizational environment. If you are doing something, you need to make a good report out of it, and you need to make the things back again. You need to make sure everything is running fine at the end of the day over information security and cyber security. So here, what I'm going to show you here is Now the sniffing a password using Wireshark. So here I'm gonna use two machines. One will be our server where it runs a web server, and the other thing is the consumer, or you can say the client, who is accessing the web server. So when he's going to access the web server, he's going to get one of the shopping site, or one of the ticket booking site, or it is a movie scoop site. So he's going to get a movie scoop site. So he's going to log into that particular site, and when he's going to log into it, I mean, I'm gonna getting the things, his user ID and password, from by sniffing the particular server side or the local machine. So prerequisite is I have already in the machine a 2012 machine, maybe by doing exploit to the server, or it's a compromised server. The particular client do not know about it, and when he's connecting to that, I'm sniffing the server's network adapter. So I'm going to get the user ID password out of it. There's the one case, that is the first case study what I'm going to show you. And the second case study is I'm not going to uh, uh, access these things from the server side, or I don't need to be in the local machine. I'm going to access it from the remote machine. So this 8.1 machines adapter going to be used, or I'm going to sniffing that adapter, and I'm getting the particular password and user ID out of it. And that can be done by one of the tool called Wireshark, which is normally used by the network administrators to monitor their network, to find out lots of protocol informations, how the data moves over it, and how the packets are moving over it. So they use it for monitoring purpose. But the same thing illegally used by the hackers to get the things done, to get a user ID and password. Right. So let me quickly move to the iLab environment. So let me show you how it exactly works out. So this is one of the iLab. You will get it when you will join this particular course. So here you have multiple types of attacks. Sophisticated attacks are there already. So let me show you this particular attack out of it. Okay, so meanwhile the lab will be up. Let me quickly move to the next attack, which is also related to one of a network level attack, we can say it, whenever we do penetration testing or whenever we do vulnerability assessment. So this is one of the attack. What happens here? It performs man-in-the-middle attack using a tool called can-enable. Now, can-enable tool is something which is used by the attacker's machine, and it is going to interrupt the normal communication between a client to a particular web application server, and it will redirect all the traffic which is moving from client to server or server to client through the attacker's machine. That means there are four steps it normally do. One is interruption, then interception, modification, and fabrication. Now interruption, it stop the normal process, normal request, and it take out the request, it intercept it, and it try to send the modified message to the server. And whenever server is going to send a response to that, it will get that response. So sometimes they fabricate it also, right? So they fabricate and they will send their own request after that. So this is what comes under man-in-the-middle attack. I mean, here what happens, Windows server, I mean, here you can see it's a Windows server which is running here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to connect it to the switch. It's a network switch. All this machine is connected here, and the server is also connected here. And the normal user is going to access the web application. Normal user do not know what happens in between. So as an attacker, I'm going to use can-enable tool, and I'm going to check. I'm going to poison the whole network switch, and whatever request sent by the particular machine will come to me, and even the server, whatever response is going to give, it will also come to me. So it's a both-way communication, and through me it is reached to the client, and if it is coming from the client side, it will reach to the server. So it's both-way communication, but it will happen through the attacker's machine, right? So that's what I have shown you in the example. So let's see these two attacks. So let me quickly move the environment. Okay, so here we have the Windows server. So first of what I'll do, I'll log into it. and then I'll install the Wireshark tool, and I'll start monitoring the interface of this Windows server. So I'm gonna installing the tool here, Wireshark, quickly. Oops. Okay, yeah, Wireshark, bit slow. Yeah, it started. Okay, so let me, I think two installer has been open. So let me cancel one. Okay, let's install it. That's perfect. So let me make run Wireshark. Okay, so now we have the tool installed. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to select the adapter of the local machine. That means the web server's adapter, right? And I'll start it. Now here if you'll see there are three panes you have. One will be where you can see all the requests comes from multiple places, which is actually monitored, or the promiscuous mode has been enabled. And you can see the frames for each particular types of request. So here you can see the whole TCP/IP suite if you have understanding on what exactly TCP/IP is. So you'll find all the application layer below, and then you'll find the UDP, IP packet, Ethernet bits, and frames. So these all things you can see for a particular request. So you can see like that multiple requests. So multiple types of requests, you can see it here. ARP request. So basically what Wireshark does, it sniffs the particular channel, right? So what is happening to that particular adapter, the connectivity. So what I'm going to do here, so let me move to Windows server, Windows client. Now the server I have started sniffing. Now I have Windows client. Let me connect to it, paste the password. Now here what I will do, I will access one of the website, HTTP, over HTTP, not HTTPS, because it's our internet website only, scope.com, and I'll give the user ID and password, and I'll log in. Now I have, as an administrator user, I have logged into this particular website, and now I can see all my things. So, but in the meanwhile, Windows Server is also monitoring this particular request and response. So let me stop here. Let me stop the things. Okay, so now what I will do here, I'll select HTTP. Okay, now I'll go for packet sniffing. So I'll go for find packet. I'll use string. I'll use one of the keyword called txt. Okay, so let me do one more time again. I'll do the same thing. I'll just put find. Guys, you can see here on the third pane where we have the hexadecimal values, and we have the address reference, and this side we have ASCII conversion of these things. Now here you can see in small letter it has written text username Sam, S-A-M, Sam, and text password is also test. So it's a plain text, right? So I have sent it over HTTP, so it's a plain text. It can be readable anyone who is sniffing the environment, right? So this is one of the local network adapter I have sniffed. Now next time what I will do, so I will connect. Now one more case I'm going to show you here. I'll connect with the remote access. I'm not going to monitor this Windows Server machine. I'm going to monitor one of the client machine. So what I will do here, now first of all I'll go to Windows 8.1. So there I'm going to enable this machine capable of capturing more. So that can be possible here over one of the service that is called remote packet capture. So let it run, let runs that particular service. See, I have already told you there are some prerequisite attacks are required to do this kind of attack. So you need to have access to this machine. Maybe you may have installed a Trojan previously. You got the remote access out of it. So I'm gonna discuss about Trojans and malware in a separate topic when you will be in the class. of CEH. But yes, so through those attacks, you can be in a remote machine and you can run any service out of it by using a Trojan, right? So now once you are in the machine, so you can enable one of the service, and there I'll go for remote packet capture and I'll start it. That's it. So next what I'll do, I'll move back to Windows 2012 server, and here I'm gonna again start Wireshark, and this time I'll go to capture options and I'll untake it. I'll go for manage interface. This time I'll use one of the remote interface, and I'll give the IP address of remote machine, that is 2008 machine 1961 2002. And yes, I told you you need to have the password authentication for it, and I'll go with JSON. Password is skipped. Apply, close, and I have the remote adapter to monitor, so I will start monitoring it. So this message you can ignore it. It's telling a buffer size. And now as a normal user, the user is again going to browse the websites. Now this time I'm going to use another shopping website that will be www. Okay, so let me put HTTP, because sniffing a network, you can get the things if it is running over HTTP, the plain text. goodshopping.com. I'll put my account, Smith, and I'll give the password. And the user has been logged in, and now it is showing me the logout button. And yeah, he can do his shopping. Or what we'll do here, let's go to Windows 2012 machine. Let's stop it and let me analyze. Let me check the packets. Find string. I'll go with txt. I mean, this is one of the keyword I'm searching, but before that I need to choose it. It should be HTTP. So let me just cancel here a bit. I'll go with HTTP because I see only the HTTP packets. Edit, find packet, and I'll do the same again. txt pass and fine. Now the same way what we did last time, but that was done for the local machine, but this time we got the user ID password from a remote captured adapter. You can see the user ID Smith and the password is Smith123, which has been written in clear text, right? So this is one of the sniffing attack, or by doing a sniffing attack, collect the information, the plain text information which is moving over the network by monitoring the particular adapters through which it is moving. Okay, so the next tool what I'm going to show you here from sniffing itself, so that will be coin enable tool. So this tool will first install here. So to use that tool, I'm going to use one of the machine, probably 8.1. Let me install the tool here. This is the attacker's machine where you have the tool installed. So let me go for R poisoning, can enable, install it. Now the communication will happen between this Kali Linux machine to 2012 server, but in between there is a machine Windows 8.1, which is the attacker's machine, which is gonna do a man in the middle attack, right? So it's a direct connection between one of the machine to a different machine, which is a normal communication, but it always will happen through this particular tool. Okay, so let's see how it can be done. Don't install. Okay, so now my tool is ready. I'll put yes, and this is the tool where I'm gonna capture the network first. I'll choose the adapter of this machine. I'll put OK. It's a bit configuration you need to do here. So I'll start the adapter to sniff the network to reach all the machines which is connected here, and I'll go to sniffer. I'll go to sniffer and I'm gonna sniff it, and I'll give the range to 19, 170 to 17, 1960 to, let's put 70. So normally as a ethical hacker or penetration tester, we do for the whole range. I'm just doing it for demonstration purpose. So let me just use a small range here. And I found out some of the machine out of it. So as I have told you, it's a communication between Kali Linux to 2012 server. So Kali Linux machine IP, if you look into Kali Linux machine, the IP of the machine will be 67. So let me just confirm it. IP config. Sorry, IF config, my mistake. Yeah, it's 67. From here, this Windows server, that is 62, if I'm not wrong. Let me check. IP config. Yeah, it's 62. So what I'm gonna do here in 8.1 machine, I'm gonna do poison between these two machines. So what I will do, I will go for APR and I'll choose the sniffing, and I will tell to this tool that, okay, so sniff between 67 to 62, this traffic, okay, and I'll simple poison this traffic by using start APR. Okay, now it is poisoning the traffic. Now I'll go to Kali Linux and I'll open the browser, and let me access one of the website, http://www.goodshopping.com. Let me give the user ID Smith 123. Login. Now this request went to 2012 server where this particular website has been hosted, but now when I have run the can-enable tool in between, now all the request and response between these two machines has to pass through my tool. So you can see here, the packet has been captured, the receiving packet and the sending packets. Not only that, if you go to password section, you go to HTTP, you'll see the plain user ID and password, which has been captured here, right? More better than the Wireshark tool. It's like a bit more sophisticated tool which can collect the user ID password for you from the plain text HTTP request. Okay, so let's take a small break here. So I think it will be for your feedback. So let me stop for a moment. Yeah, over to you, Grey Campus.
Thank you so much, Shama. Well, I'm launching a poll. Well, we have a poll for you all to attend. We'll take a minute to finish the poll and get back. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. Well, I hope you have enjoyed today's session. I believe Shama wants to go ahead, give you a quick summary, and take it forward. Shama,
Yeah.
it's over to you.
Okay. So I'll show you one more uh, tool running. So that will be for this distributed denial of service attack here, and then we'll go for the Q&A session. So this distributed denial of service attack, what happens? It is a DOS attack again. So denial of service attack. So normally there are lots of service runs over the information system or the information network, right? So this is what kind of attack, this is what kind of penetration testing what ethical hackers do. So they do attack to the particular range of servers to stop the service, okay, or to take the bandwidth so that the legitimate request cannot reach to the server and the server cannot provide the appropriate service to the particular client who has sent the request. So that is what we're going to see here. So I will use these three machines to demonstrate you the distributed denial of service attack. One will be the Windows 2012 machine and 8 machine and 8.1 machine. These three machine I'm going to use. And the 7 machine, normal 7 machine will be the victim to whom I'm going to do the attack from these three machines. And there I'll run one of the tool called Sniffomatic, so which will capture those attacks, and let's see how the things happens and how it is actually stealing, or you can say it is taking the whole bandwidth of the particular machine, 2007 machine, right? So the attack will be launched from these three machines, like Windows 2012 and 2008 and 8.1, and the 7 machine to whom I'm going to do the attack. Okay, so let me quickly move to the environment. Okay, so let me quickly install the tool. In all three machines. In real scenario, what we're going to do, we need to create multiple handlers in between. So who is actually pushing this particular tool to these machines, the bot machines, right, which is a compromised machine over the network. And from here, I'm just copying the tools. But in real scenario, you have to push it over multiple tools, which I will show you in the training itself. I'll use one of the tool called HOIC version 2.1, DOS attack tools. Here also I'll copy and paste.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Shama.
Yeah.
Participants have noticed that they are not able to see your desktop.
Okay, just a minute.
No problem. Thanks.
Yeah, now you can see it. I just copied the particular tool from the denial of service section. So nothing much. I just copied this particular tool to 3 different machines. Those are my bot machines. Bot machines are those machines which has been compromised and which I can use to do the attacks, right? These are the machine which is connected over the internet. And the 7 machine where I will run the sniffing tool. So that is Sniffomatic. I'll restart the machine. Meanwhile, I'll go to Windows 2012. I'll prepare this machine for the distributed attack. So this is the tool which will help me to do an attack. So I'll just make it ready. I'll put the URL 192.168. Sorry. This is the 7 machines IP 172.17.1965. And I'll go for any of these things you can go with. So you can go with generic boost, or maybe you can make it high. Let me check the 7 machine IP once. ipconfig. Yeah, correct. So I have done it proper. Okay, put add. Now same thing we need to do with other two machines. So let's do it quickly. Target http://7217.1965 hi generic boost, and the third one so here I'm taking two threads, so each machine the attack will happen in two different threads, and here I'll put http://172.17.1965 hi, and here I'll choose any one of this boost mechanism. Okay, so let me go to 7. Let me run sniff-o-matic just to identify how the attack happens, and let me start it. It's a sniffing tool. So if you'll see here, once I'll start sniffing, it will show you here the network bandwidth, right? So how much it is using. So currently, if you'll see, so there is no packet running here, right? So it is, I mean, that's why it is not showing here anything, right? So let me go for the machines. Let me fire with this particular attacks. Let me engage it. The second machine, fire. You can see here the output which is generating here, and I'll use the third machine also. If you go to 7 machine, 2000, I mean Windows 7 machine, now you can see how quickly the network, when if you see the particular things, it is moving higher, and you can see it is consuming the whole bandwidth of the network adapter, and you can see that lots of request has been sent so quickly, right? So this is what we call a distributed denial of service. Now what kind of service has been stopped here? If someone will send a legitimate request to this server, this particular machine, he may not get it. Why? Because the machine is running, it's busy, we're doing other tasks, so it may not give a response to the legitimate request, right? So this is how multiple such attacks happens, and you'll get more such attacks from this particular course from CEH, and you will get the hands-on practical from the iLab itself related to the malware, threats, sniffing, even the denial of service, and these are a whole set of application layer attacks, infrastructure attacks, even cloud attacks are there. So I hope you will be joining the session for CEH, and we'll get all the things there in the class. Over to you, Grey Campus.
Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed today's session on 5 deadliest attacks an ethical hacker is capable of. And I'm sure you got some key takeaways. Grey Campus offers CEH V9 training and certification, live online, instructor-led course that will train you in detail on various concepts and applications of ethical hacking. We are an EC Council accredited training center. You will get a 5-day live over-the-web training, EC Council official e-courseware, access to EC Council iLabs, and EC Council exam voucher, all inclusive at $1,799. It's 1799 US dollars. And as I told you earlier, to make the course feasible for everyone, we have newly introduced the payment plan having 3 installments with a gap of 30 days each. You can drop an email to support@greycampus.com if you're interested in this training program. Alternatively, you can visit our website www.greycampus.com. I repeat, it's www.greycampus.com to get more details. For those who are thinking, where can I see this webinar on demand? A record of this webinar is available on our website blog. It's www.greycampus.com/blog. YouTube, and you will also be receiving an email with the recording. Right? Well, I believe we have to go ahead with the question and answer session. So over to you, Shama.
Yeah, thank you. So any questions, you can post it out, or you can post it out here so I can answer it.
Well, I believe this is it. If you have any questions, Elise or Syed, I request you to post them on the chat. Shama, we have a question.
Yeah, one question is there. So how much year of experience is required to qualify for CH exam? See, there is no prerequisite experience required for attending this exam. You just need to first practice the tools, and you need to prepare for it, and you need to go through the slides, and you can give the exam. So there is no requirement, like there is no such criteria to give the exam, especially the year of experience.